in a night when I was only 14 years old. See, my people have been slaves in Egypt for many years, hundreds. Slavery and bondage for all my parents and their parents for generations had ever known. We honestly thought God had forgotten about us. But then a man named Moses came to my people, and he said that God wanted to deliver us from slavery, deliver us from Egypt. My ears could barely believe it. Our hearts rejoiced at just the thought of being set free. God used Moses to perform many miracles to convince Pharaoh to set us free, and he agreed. But then he began to change his mind again and again. Our hopes would rise, only to be dashed each time. But this night was different. Moses said for certain that this would be the night that we'd be set free, the night that we'd be delivered. At midnight, his wrath will fall on all of Egypt. His judgment will fall on Pharaoh and all of those whose hearts are hardened toward his word. The angel of death will come and slay the firstborn son of every family. When I heard this, I was terrified. I had an older brother. But Moses said there was a plan for us so that we would not fall under his judgment. That night, my father took a small lamb, like the one I have here, and he killed it. He then painted the blood of the lamb on the doorposts and the lintels of our home. And that night, my family, along with all the other families of Israel, were dressed and ready to be delivered. At midnight, all you could hear were cries and screams of mothers and fathers wailing, and all I could do was cry and pray and cling to my father, but the winds got louder and louder as they approached our home. And then, there was nothing. No cries, no screams. The blood of the Lamb had protected us. And that night, we all walked out of Egypt, free. To this day, we celebrate that night in a meal called the Passover. We remember it as the night that God delivered us from Egypt. We all know, though, the Passover will be looking for another lamb, and that lamb shall be the Messiah.